Well, we know what the Green Party was up to today. Let's find out how October kicks off for the Conservatives and the NDP, shall we? Rob Shaw joins us once again live from the thick of the campaign trail in downtown Vancouver tonight. Rob, what's been going on today?
Well, Stacey, a busy day in the election campaign. We'll start with the BC Conservatives, where leader John Rustad was in Squamish, a riding actually the BC Greens hoped to win. They came very close in the last election. Rustad taking a page out of the Alberta United Conservative government, saying if he's elected, he'll pass a law for no new taxes or increased taxes without a referendum first. A popular promise mirroring our neighbors to the east. Rustad also flip-flopping on months of promising to repeal the NDP's UNDRIP legislation, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Rustad has said UNDRIP was a legal overreach that provided Indigenous communities the equivalent of a veto on land and resource projects, but confirming today he would keep it in place, but only as long as it doesn't stand in the way of economic agreements he hopes to sign with Indigenous leaders. And finally, Rustad announcing his energy plan today, which involves cancelling the NDP's law to ban gas-powered vehicle sales by 2035 and add nuclear power into the mix to move BC to power self-sufficiency. Over on the BC NDP, leader David Eby was in Castlegar and Grand Forks announcing upfront payments to cover mileage for rural folks who have to drive to get health care in cities. That includes here on the northern part of Vancouver Island, plus promising to extend job protection for people who get sick from 8 days to 27 weeks. Here's both leaders today on energy policy.
We need to have this honest conversation with people in British Columbia. What is our power mix going to be? Should we be using nuclear power in British Columbia? Where is that? Where are we going to meet those future demands? If you think about, just for example, if every household and business in this province was required to have a heat pump, we would need to build out the equivalent of 6 or 7 more Site C dams. And we're likely not going to be building another major dam in British Columbia. So where's that power going to come from?
John Rustad wants to spend hundreds of millions or billions of dollars on unproven nuclear technologies. It's bizarre, and that's exactly what raised hydro rates 80% last time. It's taking this kind of approach to our shared advantage of cheap electricity. We have the second lowest electricity rates in all of North America. That is a business advantage. That is an advantage for people, and we can't afford that kind of risk-taking with something that's so important for British Columbians.
The two sides also trading familiar insults today, with the NDP releasing a video of Rustad talking about federal rules on nitrogen and farming and the reduction of food production and population control. John Rustad saying he objects to nitrogen rules in soil, Stacey, but it's kind of one of those things we see every day here, the NDP, with a new video of John Rustad saying something weird to try and staunch his policy announcements and staunch his party's momentum, saying he's too risky, even though voters so far have the two parties in a tie.